Whoopi Goldberg is livid, threatening to quit The View over her suspension, according to sources by the New York Post. Now, the funny thing about this is that Whoopi Goldberg basically just can't keep her mouth shut, right? Because here's the thing, when you make comments that are bad, typically the best thing to do is, shut up afterwards. But let's get right into this story. Whoopi Goldberg is livid after she was suspended from The View over her claim that the Holocaust was not about race and is telling coworkers she is going to quit the show, according to a source. Goldberg, who's 66, maybe you should just add another 6 to that, feels humiliated at being disciplined by ABC execs after she followed their advice to apologize for the ill-conceived comments, a well-placed insider told the Post. She feels ABC executives mishandled this. She followed their playbook. She went on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert and then apologized again on The View the next day, a source said. The source added that while Goldberg is taking the suspension hard and says she wants to leave the show, insiders believe she's likely just sounding off. Her ego has been hurt and she's telling people she's going to quit, the source said. Suspension from The View is like getting suspended from Bravo. The bar is very low. So the reps for Goldberg and ABC did not return requests for comment. Goldberg raised eyebrows on The View Monday when she insisted that Nazis and Jews were both white. And higher-ups at the network urged Goldberg to make amends on The Late Show that evening, but she repeated this statement while attempting to clarify her comments. The next day, she invited Anti-Defamation League CEO Jonathan Greenblatt on the show to discuss her offensive remarks and to apologize again. But her words weren't enough for ABC top brass. Kim Godwin, ABC News president, announced her decision to suspend Goldberg for 2 weeks late Tuesday, telling staffers that such decisions are never easy but necessary. Words matter and we must be cognizant of the impact our words have, Godwin wrote in a memo to employees that dubbed Goldberg's initial comments wrong and hurtful. As news of the suspension rippled through the network, it angered not only Goldberg, but also her co-host on the daytime talk show. I love Whoopi Goldberg, I love The View, Anna Navarro told the Daily Beast on Tuesday evening. This was an incredibly unfortunate incident. Whoopi is a lifelong ally to the Jewish community. She is not an anti-Semite, period. I am sad and I have nothing else to say. Goldberg first argued that the Holocaust went beyond race during a discussion on The View about a Tennessee school district's decision to ban Moss, the Pulitzer Prize-winning graphic novel about a Holocaust survivor. The Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race, Goldberg said. It's about man's inhumanity to man. So, feel free to give your thoughts on this sort of thing, right? But here's the thing to really understand about Whoopi Goldberg. Like, let's just do like a quick search, right? So, Whoopi Goldberg net worth, right? Just to get like a really rough understanding of her financial situation. So, according to Google, or I guess Wikipedia, is about $45 million, but that's in 2011. So, how much Whoopi Goldberg worth in 2021? Yeah, we could probably try that. Actually, no, let's get. There should be a better something. Okay, how much does Whoopi Goldberg make on The View? Okay, let's check that one out. Let's see. Uh, skip that. Okay, where the hell is your net worth? Oh my god. Okay, so Whoopi Goldberg's net worth is around $60 million, according to Sportskeeda, right? Or I guess celebrity net worth, whatever that site is. Whoopi Goldberg is estimated to be worth around $60 million, as per the data pulled from multiple publications, and the co-host reportedly earns around $8 million per year for The View. So for her being on The View, she makes like $8 million if you were to believe this, right? So let's put this into perspective. Number one, is there another company that would be willing to pay her anything like this amount for her? Probably not. Like, let's be real, probably not. Number two, this amount of money is not small no matter who you are, unless you're like a multi billionaire, right? Like $8 million per year to speak basically a bunch of BS nonstop and complain and attack people and all that kind of stuff, right? Just be basically annoying, like an annoying person. I think a lot of people would take that gig, right? So, for example, if you stumble upon this, right? If you know that you can make $8 million per year and you don't got to do any research, you could just complain. You could basically just like have like, complaining sessions, basically, right? Wouldn't you take that? I mean, no matter who you are, like that's basically easy money, right? So she might, say that she's going to quit because her ego is hurt. But the reality of it, she knows very well that there is no other company that would be willing to give her $8 million per year for basically nothing. Okay? You got to really understand that. What other company would really be willing to pay her anything close to this amount? Like, just think about it, right? But you also got to view it as this: she's not going to be actually willing to quit because the money's just too good, right? But it could be very possible that the ABC's The View, right, might actually fire her, right, if she keeps acting up, because they know they could actually just save a whole bunch of money by replacing her with like new talent, right? So that's something to really think about too. So Whoopi, the best thing for her to do is probably to just shut up so that she could keep making this amount of money, right? Because there's no other place that she's going to be able to make this amount of money. Otherwise, it would not be surprising for her to be replaced for someone that is young, probably prettier, probably a little bit more respectful, or maybe not even respectful. They could be completely nuts, right? But they could pay them probably less than $100,000 a year for Whoopi Goldberg's job, okay? Like, if you could replace this overhead, like, basically, Whoopi Goldberg gave ABC a perfect excuse to literally just cut ties with her if they want to, right? So you gotta really understand when you are on like a show or like a platform or whatever that you have no control over, that you are not the owner, that you are not the boss. Guess what? When you are an employee, you could be cut at any time for pretty much any reason. And if you give basically your employer a pretty easy out when you're costing them potentially a lot of money, why wouldn't they do that, right? Now, I don't know what her actual like worth in their eyes she is, but who knows? If they view her as more of a liability now because of her statements about the Holocaust, maybe it makes perfect sense for them to be like, "See ya, Whoopi. We're done with you. Have a nice life." And then they just end up hiring a very young new talent for like 100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, if that, right? Because I was watching a podcast with one of the former Republican people that sat on The View. Like, I guess for like her first year, roughly, or first few months of like being showcased on The View, she didn't actually make any money. Like, she had to volunteer basically her time. So, wouldn't it make sense that The View might just have volunteers show up and pop up so they don't even got to pay them anything? That's something to really think about, right? So, Goldberg has earned most of her fortune from her on screen acting projects over the course of her career since 1982. Now, prior to her foray into Hollywood, she acted in several drama productions. She made her debut in feature films with William Farley's Citizen, I'm Not Losing My Mind, I'm Giving It Away when she was around 26. And a year after her debut in films, Whoopi Goldberg started her one-woman production Spook Show, which ran on Broadway from 1984 to 1985, and the show was later named after after going to Broadway. A recording of her performance also earned her a Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album. So the actress received the most recognition for her career-defining role as Celie Johnson in Steven Spielberg's 1980 film The Color Purple, for which she earned an Oscar nomination, and later in 1991 she won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for her role in Ghost. Bum, 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 bum. But here's the thing, right? I mean, if she's not stupid, like if she has not been stupid with her money, she probably wouldn't actually need to work on The View. But here's the reality. If she's not good with her money, if she was not good with her money, if she spent most of her money, she's basically screwed. Because who's going to hire her? Who's going to want to hire her? And I don't think there's going to be anyone willing to pay big bucks for her as well, right? So hopefully, for her sake, she manages her money well enough to where she doesn't have to work. But more than likely, she probably needs this gig at The View, to be fair. By the way, if you want to learn how to get a debt, go to 14bucks.com.